one or more saleable listings now. We're going to go around the room. I want everybody to give me one idea. Who wants to start? Everybody's going to go first. You better go early or they'll get easy. The last person's going to have, give me an idea.
Contacting expires.
Okay. How many and by when?
At least 5 a day. Every day.
How many?
5 a day.
Say contacting them, what do you mean?
Email address.
You mean just call 5 a day?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what if they don't answer?
Text.
Okay.
Hit them up on social media.
Okay. So do you mean actually like speak with, not just dial the number?
No.
So if I dial 5 and nobody answers, I'm
That
done?
is not prospecting.
Okay. So speak with,
Speak with 5 a day.
that sucks. Look, I spent so much money for this board, we're going to use it again. Okay? I know it doesn't work very well, but we're using it. With 5 expireds each day. Okay? Number 2.
Same thing with FSBO.
Okay?
Probably more likely with FSBO.
I'm telling you, y'all want to jump in here early. You don't want to be last. Number 3.
The old clients that have those.
How many and by when?
At least
7 a day? Okay.
and by the end of this month.
Each day. Okay. But each day.
Yes.
Okay. Rob. What else?
This time of year, there's a lot of parties, a lot of people doing social events.
Okay.
What I'm thinking is getting your party talk on, knowing your data, knowing what's happening in the market, so you can have a better understanding of when you're doing talk to people.
What'd you call that? Getting your party talk on? Okay. I like that. Aren't you the hipster?
Because everybody asks how the real estate market is when they find out you're renting. So that requires actually going out and attending events. It's outside my comfort zone, but
Okay, good. Mike?
Promote home seller workshops on some Facebook ads.
Okay. Who wants to jump in? Jay?
Follow up with leads that I've received since January 1st that
Okay. Who wants to jump in? Greg?
Well, I saw something this week I thought was interesting. Somebody did a podcast about the advantages to sell before the end of the year. Now, I don't know who it went to, but they did a podcast and it was all about why you want to sell before the end of the year.
Okay, good.
By the way, you remember the pocket fisherman, you remember my last name, you know that. Anyway, I would follow up with my past employers and find out who's getting transferred.
Okay.
On that list, and I'd contact them.
Okay. Can I call that networking?
Yeah.
Okay.
You looking at me?
Uh-huh.
I don't know, scour the Atlanta Business Chronicle to see what what new industry might be coming into the market and
Okay.
targeted advertising for that.
Okay. Or going out of the area. Okay. Nancy, what's something I can do to generate a saleable listing right now? Okay. Does anybody else have an idea? Right.
Just sold that are, nobody talks to. Sometimes just, I was talking to Joey today, he sold a house for $15,000 higher than anything that's been sold in there.
Uh-huh.
Got 3 other people that are wanting to sell, so, you know, the market's being pushed right now, so just sold are really untapped.
Just sold calls?
There's one call.
Or even targeting around them. I mean, a lot of neighbors see a house that's just been sold that they made some money on and they may want to consider it themselves.
Right. How would you do that?
Again, targeted,
Emails.
yeah, targeted socials.
Okay. Could just call. Uh-huh. Ring, ring.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, it's Mike over at Century 21. Just a quick call to let you know we just sold one of your neighbors' homes at 123 Main Street for a record high price in the neighborhood. Wondering if you've thought about making a move this year.
Before the end of the year? Maybe not.
Okay. Sometime in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, great. If you were to sell this house, where would you go next?
Florida.
Florida. Great. And ideally, in the perfect world, when would you like to be there?
By July.
Okay. Why July?
I don't know.
Kids are out of school. Right. So you just go down the natural course, just be focused and interested in them. What else could you do? Like, I can't read that. It's bad when you can't read your own handwriting, right?
Door knocking?
You could.
Boring as it is. Sometimes it works out. I got a seller that way.
I made a living doing that. Watch.
Hello.
Hey, Mike at Century 21. Wondering if you've thought about making a move this year.
I have not this year, no.
Oh, great. No plans to move?
Not unless they take me out in a wooden box.
Gotcha. Well, have a great day.
Thanks.
One thing you missed,
What?
do you know anybody who would?
That's true. You could throw that on there.
Hey,
Hey, Mike at Century 21. Wondering if you thought about making a move in the next 12 months.
yeah, I have.
Okay, great. If you sold this house, where would you go next? When would you want to be there? Right? And if he said no, you could throw it on just like that. Wondering if, do you know anybody that is planning to make a move? Right? What else could I do? Could you, so we have an instant offer program. Think anybody out there is interested in that? Yeah, they are.
It's definitely worth pointing out to your last some of your former clients.
Sure. Could you run a targeted Facebook ad talking about our instant offer program? How about every for sale by owner that's in the Atlanta market right now? Could you offer them our instant offer program? Ring, ring. Hey, it's Mike over at Century 21. I'm not calling to list your home.
Okay, so why are you calling?
Good question. I'm glad you asked. Century 21 has their own instant offer program. Wondering if you would like me to submit your property for consideration on that.
Well, what's different about your program?
Just another option for you, no cost and no obligation. Would you like to see what our instant offer program would offer you for your home?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, why not? Why not? Why not? Is it a reason, other than listing our home, is it a reason to call a for sale by owner? Different than why everybody else is calling them. And they're sick of being called by real estate agents. If you were them, you would be sick of it too. I'm sorry, we didn't interrupt your schedule today, did we? It's a different reason to talk to them. Does everybody want to do it? Everybody doesn't want to do anything. It's just a different reason to have the conversation, right? Could you run that as a targeted ad? You could. What else could you do? Is it possible to ever generate a listing off an open house?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, that's crazy talk, right? Hey, Carl, that ever happened to you? You generate a listing off an open house? You did? How'd that happen?
Preparing, making sure you inviting the neighborhood, being actively involved in the open house, not just showing up with a sign.
So a lot of the people that
I mean, I
come through your open house, do they have a house to sell?
generated 5 listings from the open house.
Right. So an open house is another way to do it. So far we've got 12. Can anybody think of a 13th?
Event.
Carl?
Kind of ties into one, but I've been calling around to my past clients just talking about interest rates, and I think I'm going to go show a house and list one this weekend. They can be in better financial shape with a new house, selling theirs and getting a new one, and I couldn't do that before with rates.
Is that true? If rates go down enough, is it possible that you could actually buy the next house and it doesn't really cost you that much more? Right.
Plus, people are sitting on anybody that bought in 13, 14 are sitting on probably 100,000 plus in equity.
So I think if we just kept at this longer, we could come up with more and more ways. Which way will you do? Like, so can we just make the observation? Nowhere at no time, even before Steve decided to join us, and we're so glad you did. Thank you. At no point did anybody say, well, just hang out and wait for them to call you. Like, nobody suggested that strategy, right? Because that sounds so ridiculous to say out loud, right? Like, that just sounds like, who would say that out loud? Nobody would. But almost 40,000 real estate agents across Atlanta today, that's the strategy they're implementing. Hey, just hang out and wait for people to call you. But like in the last 15 minutes, nobody suggested that. So the question really would be, there's 13 or 14 ideas up there. Which one will you implement today? Because here's what people are going to say. And when you hear this, just know that you're talking to a total dumbass. Okay? This is like dumbass radar detector. Okay? Andy and I were talking about this a little bit earlier. They're going to say things to you like, oh, the real estate market's dead for the next 60 days. Okay? That would mean that on a bar graph, it goes from like this, trending, to that. Now, Greg, you've been around the real estate business for decades now. Is that true?
Not at all. Not at all. This is a great time.
The real estate market is dead. That means I have to believe, oh my God, I'm just going to mess up both sides today. This is so much fun. This is like kindergarten stuff. For that to be true, then I have to believe this. And this board is so bad, but it costs so much. I have to believe this, that the graph is doing this, okay? But when we get to here, which is like November, it does that. And that it's going to stay down here until March or April, and then it'll start going back up. That's not true. At no time ever has that been true. But that's what people will tell you. That's what they'll say. Why? If it's not true, then why would people say that?
So they don't have to work?
So they don't have to work. They've just given themselves a very good reason to like screw around for the next 60 days. The truth is, the graph does this. If you start in January, you start down here. Now let me use a different color. That's how high-tech I am. The graph really does something like this. And that's April, okay? And it starts growing through August. And then it'll start to do this the rest of the year. There's a big difference between plateauing down a notch and a deep dive. There's a big difference. Are there fewer sales in December than there are in July? Of course there are. But it's Atlanta. It's not Minneapolis. We don't have 5 feet of snow on the ground. It's not outside. We're a major relocation center. Most major corporations either have a regional or a national, or in some cases, international headquarters here, which means we always have people moving in and out. We never, in my 30 plus years, we have never done this except for once. When was this? Yeah, those of us that were around, this is about August of 08, okay? And on August 1st of 08, we were about right here, and on August 2nd of 08, we were about right there. That's a little bit of an overstatement. But other than that, the market doesn't significantly drop. We do. The market doesn't. The market just does that, just calms a little bit, but it doesn't dive. Sales don't dive. We do. So the next 60 days, because your competition out there, the other 40,000 real estate agents, are going to stop working. This is when I would double down. The competition's so much less. The business is still out there to get. Zoe, would you share with the room what day of the year your parents sold their listing?
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. This is after I had to listen to 45 days of, we should just wait till next spring because nobody's going to buy a house during the holidays. That was just a great moment in my life. Christmas Eve, because her father is a special case, hard, stubborn, opinionated, driven. Nobody's buying a house during the holidays. Oh, hey, I got to come over and get you to sign this. They accepted your counter, your household. What? Oh, you probably got family events tonight. Can you pick out 10 minutes so we can get this signed on Christmas Eve? Thank you. Got to go. Christmas Eve. Sales don't stop. We stop. We just talked about 13, 14, 15 different things we could do. Pick one and then go do it, because you'd be the only one out there that is. Questions? Which one will you do? If you said FSBOs are expired, don't call them to list their house. They don't want to list their house. If they did, they would. So secret for you. There's not a FSBO out there in the marketplace that is saying this. It doesn't exist. I would list my house today. I would. I just can't find a real estate agent. That's not what they're saying. And no expired this morning by 9 o'clock is going, you just have to love real estate agents. They're just so motivated and persistent. I mean, I've had 40 of them call me already this morning. That's the hardest working group of people I've ever seen. That's not what they say. They say, y'all are a bunch of assholes and quit calling me. Sorry, I'm trying. That's the only time I did it. So don't call them to list their house. It's not what they want. If it was, they would have already done it. Well, what's another reason relevant for them that you could call them?
That you want to see it for yourself.
See it for yourself.
Schedule a walkthrough and kind of make a connection with them.
Why?
You have them buy it.
It's not available online.
Why would you want to make a connection with them?
Because people tend to work with people they're connected to.
That's why you want to do it. So when we talk about relevant, it has to be relevant to them, not us. I get what you want. It's not what they want. What do they want?
Sell the house.
To sell the house.
They want buyers.
They want buyers. Right. So why should you call them today?
To interview for the job of selling their house.
They don't want to list their house. So what would be another reason to reach out to them?
The pictures are terrible online and want to see it firsthand.
Good, that always works. Let's start by criticizing them. You know, Zoe, I really don't find you very attractive at all, and you could do something with that haircut, but would you like to go out this weekend? Casey's single now. I don't know why he is. What's a relevant reason that you could call them? Relevant to them.
Well, the instant offer program.
Right, I already gave you the answer. Call them and offer. It's why we created it. Like 2 to 3% are going to do it. That's a pretty low percentage. But everybody's curious. You want me to prove it? Well, let's finish up with this. I can prove it to you right now. I started to do this last Wednesday and I got distracted and didn't finish the thing. Hey, Carl, your wife is Sarah?
Correct.
Uh-huh. Is Sarah mildly curious of what an instant offer on your home might be?
Maybe.
Maybe? I contend it's not maybe. I contend it's absolutely. So what does Sarah do? Sarah's married to Carl, a very good, experienced real estate agent, right? So does she wait for Carl to come home at night and say, hey, Carl, what do you think one of these instant offer programs might offer us for our house? I'm just curious. Don't really want to move. I'm just kind of curious what our house. Does Sarah do that? No. What does Sarah do?
Clicks on one of Doc's ads.
Yock, with the great initiative he has, brand new agent, first year, Yock runs a targeted Facebook ad and said, hey, are you curious of what your home might be worth today? Well, click here and we'll generate an instant offer for you on your home. And this is like, you can't make this up. If you made it up, nobody would believe it. Sarah clicks on the ad, says, yeah, sure. Tell me what my home might be worth. Why? Because everybody's curious what their house might be worth. Because they want to sell it? Who knows? Probably not. But it's free. It doesn't cost anything. Sure. So Carl comes. So now what is Sarah to Yock? Because she clicks it on, she goes to a landing page, give me your... She's a lead. And what do you as a good realtor do with leads? Follow up. You incubate them, right? You put them on a campaign. And Yock is such a... So you got to give it to Yock. He does everything right? So he doesn't know who Sarah Phillips is. It never occurs to him, oh, Phillips, well, that's not that common of a last name. Yeah, it is. So he does what he's supposed to do. And then when you go home one night and Sarah says,
Why is this guy contacting me and can we make this stop? Explain this situation.
It's hilarious.
and you can't make that up. It's so good. It's like, it's just what is that? That's online lead generation.
He followed up really well.
Did he?
I was actually very impressed.
To the point where she said, why is this guy calling me all the time and can you get him to stop?
Text me the whole thing and she said, make this stop.
Make this stop. Hey, you know how you make this stop, sweetheart? Quit clicking on that stuff on Facebook. But there's two big points there. First, the negative point. The negative point is this, folks, that's why I make fun of online lead generation. Are all your leads? No, there's Sarah. She's married to a very good real estate agent and she's clicking on it. It's all full of that kind of stuff and we're panning for gold. But sometimes our expectations get whacked out. We intellectually know we're panning for gold, that we got to sift all that stuff out to get to the little nuggets, and that most of the stuff's going to be sand and dirt, and we don't want that. But then we get righteously indignant. Like, these leads are all a bunch of crap. Of course they're all a bunch of crap. If you were like back in the 1800s and you came across one of those gold prospectors and he said, oh, this is a bunch of bullshit. I have to sift through a lot of dirt to find gold. You go, what'd you think you were getting into? Like you put your shovel in the ground and gold starts springing up out of the ground? Well, that'd be nice. Right.
That's actually funny.
Mike's sometimes funny.
So lead generation is that. You got to keep that in mind or you're going to get really frustrated with it. But Yaak took action. He did something to cause stuff to come into his pan. Now he's got to filter it out. Sarah's probably not going to list her house with him. The odds are against him. If she does, you have issues. But he was taking some kind of action. He took our program, which most people aren't going to want, but they are interested in, to start a conversation. Right? That's all it is. That's all it is. And every once in a while, somebody's going to say, well, I will take that offer. You're like, really? Because I could get you like 10, 20, 30% more. Oh, you could? Yeah, we can. And this many people are going to say, I will forego the money for the convenience. That's fine. There's some people in this world that convenience, for whatever reason, most of the time their reasons are really very valid. I have to move on with my life. Just get me out of here. Okay, those are good too. But most people are just curious. Why don't you talk to them about what they want to talk about? And let's close with this. Don't lie. Don't ever lie. Don't ever violate your personal integrity because it will make you feel uncomfortable and you won't want to do it anymore. So don't tell people that you want to come over and see their home because you might have a buyer for it, because that's a lie. You don't have a buyer for it, and if you did, you wouldn't show that house. So don't lie to people. Why wouldn't you show the house?
Because there's 30,000 other homes for sale.
Yeah, but the number one reason is, watch, Rob. Zoe sends you a relocation referral today. And it's Jay. And Jay says, I want to buy a $300,000 house in Roswell this weekend. We've got to get moved. Okay, I want it to have 4 bedrooms and 3 baths and a full finished basement. And I need to have a fenced yard. Okay, and I don't want it to be more than 10 years old. Okay, and I'll see you Saturday morning. Okay, you got it? How do you find that house? What do? You go to the MLS system. Who would go to Zillow and start scouring the for sale by owners first? Nobody? Why not? Are you lazy? You're not going to do it. Is there a time when you might do that?
Can't find anything
Desperate. After everything else.
After everything else. After everything else. You know what? There's no expired listing or for sale by owner out there right now that understands that. Don't lie to people. Okay? Well then, what do I say? Call them up and offer them something that they want. What? That's why we created the Instant Offer program. Number one reason. So you would have a conversation point with people. And they might actually be interested in it. And that's just one of the 15 we talked about. Are there more? What will you do today? Well, let's find out. Let's go do it.